G'day and welcome to Game 3 between T1 and ViciGaming in this lower bracket elimination TI11 last chance qualifiers. For one of these teams, the TI dream will be over. Kaput, done, Benende. Game 1 was taken by T1, Game 2 was taken by ViciGaming, but it would be a miss to not mention that T1 were in a dominant position in Game 2 and ViciGaming made one hell of a defense. Managed to defend against, I think, 4 buybacks of T1 and still took the fight. So now into Game 3, as we move into the second phase of bans, we have Enigma, Shadow Fiend, Lycan all taken out, Marcy, Primal Beast and Slark removed. And I think you have to see this Marcy Primal Beast. I've been calling it out for the last couple of days. I think if you don't have first pick, that is the 2 bans you must do right now. You cannot allow Marcy or Primal Beast through to the first pick because it will just be immediately grabbed every time. First picks, Undying from T1 get the first pick. Tusk and Morphling, the return from ViciGaming, and Puck from T1. You know what? This is looking like a bit of a different game already from Game 1 and Game 2. Morphling has been very strong. I think one of the higher win rate cores in the last chance qualifiers. Tusk, really good for burst, but also for save. He's one of those sort of hybrid supports that if you can get the blink, you can get the blink snowball save and really turn a fight around. Particularly against a heavy initiation team led by a Puck. Now, T1 have run the Undying as a core. They've run the Undying with Ana. They've run the Undying, I believe, with Cuckoo. Could be wrong about that, but definitely Ana has handled the Undying as a core position with good effect. I think they're maybe like 2 out of 3 with the Ana Undying. Whether they want to do that in an elimination Game 3 match, we'll have to wait and see. Remainder of those bans will be the Chen and the Ember from T1. AA being removed from ViciGaming. It's just an essential ban against the Morph. You can't let it go through. It's almost at the level of letting a Bloodseeker not be banned against a Pangolier. Not quite, but close. ViciGaming go ahead and grab the Void Spirit early in the draft. They're really going in for the heroes they want in this Game 3. Not trying to hide behind any smoke and mirrors here.
10 seconds remaining.
Now, the Nature's Prophet is still available. Now, although T1 lost that game too, Cuckoo looks very strong on the Nature's Prophet.
T1's turn to pick.
To be the Shadow Shaman. Okay. Still not sure where this Undying will fit in the draft. The Shadow Shaman offers a lot of lockdown against the Void Spirit and the Morphling. However, the Tusk does counter both the Hex and the Shackles with the Snowball save.
5 seconds remaining.
Tusk finds it hard to save allies against AoE abilities such as like a Black Hole or a Chrono. But against a single target lockdown, the Snowball save is really, really effective. Okay, we see the Veno. Is this a Cuckoo Venomancer? I kind of hope not. I think Cuckoo here is still coming. I think this is an Ana Undying. I think we're seeing Shaman and Veno as the supports. Puck as mid. Undying will be handled by Ana. I think what I'm seeing in this draft at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what ViciGaming ban to see what where their mind is. Whether they ban POS 1s or whether they ban offlaners. Visage from ViciGaming now. Visage hasn't had a very good tournament either in terms of just pure win rate. Visage has been reasonably, I think, below 50%, even down into the could be in the 30%, the high 30%. I think, at least before today's games.
5 seconds remaining.
Hasn't had a great tournament. Void Spirit is very good against heroes like Veno and Shaman. You can sort of play around a fair bit with the Dissimulate. the Astral Steps, you generally have enough burst to get through the Shadow Shaman before any lockdown can come out. Step into Ether Remnant, simulate, follow up step to get away. It's pretty damning. But on the flip side, if the Shaman manages to get the lockdown of the Void Spirit isn't that innately tanky. You know, isn't in hero, can die with some follow up burst, but I don't really see the burst coming out from the side of T1. Like, Veno is not a bursty hero. Puck is okay for burst, but it's not. It's multiple rounds of burst that Puck does. It's not necessarily just all one big go. Undying is more slower, chunky damage, and unless you go for the core Undying, and then it really does slap, but it's still not really burst. I have to say, so far the draft of ViciGaming looks a little more coherent, a little more cohesive with what they want to try and do on the map. Use a relatively early timing on the Morphling, use the strength of the Void Spirit and the Visage, tag team to take the Roshan with the birds as well, and get control around the map, and then if it goes late, you're sitting on an Erica Morphling to carry the game, as we saw in Game 2. For the side of T1, I'm just not sure what this draft is at the moment. Is it just a heavy push strat? Veno wards, Shaman wards, core Undying. You just go hit towers, push them down, take the game in 25-30 minutes. That could be the plan. ViciGaming took out ban of Timbersaw as well. Okay, the Timbersaw ban is a little bit telling. That tells to me that this is a core Undying. The fact that you're concerned about banning the Timbersaw shows that you really want this Undying to have a good game. Now, whether it's a Cuckoo Undying or the Ana Undying, I'm not sure yet. You can throw around, if you want two heroes in particular, you can pick them wherever you want. This isn't like a pub game where you tend to pick your supports first. If we could have, actually I can do that. Yeah, you can muck around with your pick order a little bit. It's not so important as long as you get the heroes in the draft that you want by the time your 5 hero picks are done.
5 seconds remaining.
This is either an Ana Omega carry. PL's been banned. Slark's been banned. Lone Druid is still available if T1 want to go back for it again. I mean, it fits in with the draft. A Lone Druid and a core Undying can have a fast timing, take early towers. I think that's maybe just where they're going again. Unless this is unless it's a Cuckoo Prophet last and it's an Ana Undying. It's the Omega carry. It's the Omega carry for Ana. They're going out blazing in this last game, giving Ana the biggest, baddest boy they can bring to the battle. And how will ViciGaming respond?
10 seconds.
They're probably looking for a support in this last pick, unless it's a Visage.
5 seconds remaining.
Visage 4. But likely seeing a support pick here. I mean, Disruptor was banned, and then the Timbersaw. So they're not quite 100% sure T1 where ViciGaming are going with this last pick. They've left themselves a little bit of wiggle room in this draft to counter the last pick of T1. T1 really waited till the last couple of seconds to make that Faceless Void pick. They were really trying to decide where this goes. Now, this could still be a support Undying, and we could have a Cuckoo Venomancer, a Cuckoomancer, as becoming popular. Now, that would make me a little bit concerned for T1 if it is a Cuckoomancer. Don't think the Veno in the 3 position is that good at the moment. ViciGaming have left themselves plenty of time here as well. 55 seconds still remaining on the clock. Really preparing themselves for this last pick. I think if it's a support, they want something that has potentially some longer range initiation. Like, is Earthshaker still in the Earthshake is still available. Yeah, Earthshake is decent against Shaman. Rubik's pretty good this game as well. You steal Tombstone, steal the Puck spells. Good Shaman's got good spells as well. Veno's spells are pretty nice. Even Time Walk's pretty good on the Faceless Void. It's a nice Rubik game. I actually think Rubik or Earthshaker are the two that are standing out to me for ViciGaming. If it is a support pick, that is. If it is a support, and it's not some sort of support Visage or... Yeah, there it is, the Rubik.
You may now select
So,
your heroes.
yeah, there you go. I do know something about Dota. So, with the drafts completed, I think the Ana Faceless Void does give T1 a late game win condition. They're not afraid to go late. Zepho, Venomancer, Cuckoo's on the Undying. Now, I'm just a little bit concerned about the timing of this draft. Generally, the core Undying, you want to press the advantage early, but I think this is the plan for T1. Take some early advantage with this core Undying and go late with the Ana Faceless Void. And the Undying has sort of a falling off period in terms of levels. So early core Undying is very strong. Very strong. Level 10, level 12 hits a nice strong timing. But between level 12 and level 20, tends to fall off a little bit. You need to either get that -2 second decay or the Tombstone on death, depending on how the game is looking. And then the 25 with the reincarnation talent is really where it's at. So Undying, if you can get to the ultra late game, is really strong as well. But it does have a bit of a weak point in the middle. I think what I'm saying is T1 are giving themselves an opportunity to win a game early here with the core Undying, but they're not afraid to take it late if they don't need to push it late if things don't go to plan. They don't need to be afraid of taking it late. Oh, predictions. First tower destruction. We have Mass Serpent Worlds. I'm thinking 8 to 11. Play with the first triple kill. Hobson, let's say. Which team will win? T1. Will there be a teleport cancelled by 10 minutes? No. No, there won't. So here we go. Game 3. T1 are moving out under the cover of smoke to the top side. Ana yet to level the Time Walk, so is fairly safe by himself. We'll just do a little bit of scouting. He doesn't see anyone here, which means they're either hiding on the high ground or underneath this sort of wood spot here at the moment. T1 moving across will not see anyone on this side of the mid lane, so pretty much certain that ViciGaming is sitting currently in their triangle, with Ana sitting on the bottom side, not scouting at anyone either. Topson will move through, just do a little bit of wood scouting, see if there's anything around. He plants the ward himself. I don't know if that was scouted. There was a sentry. That's a ballsy ward just right in front of him. Ana walks down, tries to scare him back for a little bit. Will he commit for the bounty rune? No, he won't. On the top side, Yang's been slowed down. He's got the poison. The venomous gale. It looks like he's on fire as well, but that'll be it for the time being. So in the mid lane, we'll be seeing Topson on the puck. The Fairy Dragon will be laning against the Void Spirit played by XM. In the top lane, Cuckoo, Core, off lane, Undying will be supported by Zephyr on the Venomancer. They're laning against Morphling being played by Erica and Yang on the 5 Tusk. In the safe lane for T1, Ana on the Pos 1 Faceless Void, supported by Whitemon on the Shaman. And they're laning against Frisk on the 4 Rubik and BAB on the 3 Visage. Or Visage, depends on what side of the world you're on. Early in the mid lane, 4-0 as opposed to the 1-0 of Topson. Topson actually needs to be careful. He's been outplayed a little bit here. Oh, there's actually a bounty rune there. Okay, there was a bounty rune in the top river. So, little injection there for the side of T1, but Topson is very low And XM hasn't really taken any damage at all to speak of. This bottom lane should be fairly passive for a while until Ana gets a few points, maybe in the bash, and can threaten with Whitemon's Shackle. If Frisk gets shackled, there is no cancel for the shackle. At least for a while. Cuckoo level 2 hasn't leveled anything up just yet. We'll grab the last hit there. Nice little one. Midnight, it does look like Thompson has recovered a little bit. Those tangos will heal himself up. And Bottle should be arriving now. So he'll be just fine in the mid lane against XM. XM 11-1, Pucks at 7-0. We'll catch up now, but certainly a good start. Whitemon is slowed down and lifted back towards the Rubik and the Visage. Salve himself up. Sort of hero you never want to trade with against a Shadow Shaman. We got such high damage. Actually, Yang takes the Venomous Gale and the Tick now. The Poison Sting. Giving it to Yang. And please. Oh, he's juking around the trees as well. Yang is holding a level 2. Might have a roll. Does end up getting the shards. Actually, the shards don't work out. And that's first blood to Zephyr. I think Yang just played around with this Veno a little bit too much. Maybe he didn't have much of a choice. Was just trying to get the tag team off around the trees. So, first blood to T1 and Zephyr, who walk through looking for Erica. Knows that there's no, there's no waveform actually at the moment. I think they maybe could have committed with Cuckoo's Tombstone to get that kill if the Venomous Gale hits there. Ana, level 2, has a couple of tangos left. Typically Visage isn't a super strong laner, but what recovers it is the Soul Assumption damage. The Soul Assumption damage level 1 is probably the most valuable burst spell in the game, but otherwise it's not great lane. Once he gets level 6, the hero comes online. Saying that though, with the lift back, damage from Rubik, they might have enough to get a pick onto Whitemon. I'd be surprised if Ana dies in this lane. With 7 stick charges as well. Should be fairly healthy. Thompson going around and collecting himself a bounty rune. Make sure you get that bottle refill. Cuckoo has a level now in the waveform, so certainly understands the threat that is against him with the Zephyr. Does get caught, and now the Sting. I think Zephyr just keeps trading here. Keeps hitting. Just keep hitting. Just keep hitting. And we'll just send him back. Erica, 3 more tangos to help him heal, but probably not a whole heat. Zephyr might turn around with the Sting. Yep. And you never want to really trade in this Veno in lane. That's one of the good things about this Veno. He just gets to click you down. Gets really efficient trades with that Poison Sting, particularly once he gets level 2 in that ability. Thompson just trading. Level 5 now as opposed to XM's level 4. After having a pretty poor start, Thompson is just dominating around the runes and just collecting everywhere, getting free refills. Top blast hits though, 28-3 on XM. Has just stayed in lane while Thompson's done some running around the rune bushes. Make sure he's staying nice and filled up, but Erica is struggling. 7-1 to 20-3 on Thompson. This Morphling is having a rough lane against the Veno Undying, and as you would expect, there is no way that he should do well in this lane. Every time he comes up, he gets decayed. He gets Venomous Gale, does get caught again. He'll have to probably use the waveform, just strength morphing up. And think about that, there's the Tombstone. And in they go, under the tower. I think they'll tank with the creeps. Zombies are starting to build up. Actually, TP coming in from the Rubik will be cancelled in the bot lane. And now Yang, there's more zombies. There's more Poison Sting, and with the Soul Rip, they get the kill. Bottom lane, Whitemon will go down. And Zephyr dies, I believe, to the tower. So, kills all around the map. Erica still only 8-1. Still just being bodied in this top lane. Level 3 decay now. Cuckoo just constantly threatening. Middle lane. Bottle refill coming in for Thompson. Zephyr will do the old detour through the mid lane. And Frisk and Yang are around as well. In fact, he's going to run into... Yeah, there's the free D-ward. He gets it as well. From Zephyr. Actually, Coil onto the Void Spirit, and mid lane catches too. Zephyr's trying to get the damage through with the Poison Sting. Another round of spells from the Puck. But in fact, it might just be the 2 supports of T1 that die instead. So ViciGaming got coiled and kept in the one spot, but they didn't really care that much. They just kept fighting. I mean, if you don't want to move and you just want to fight, coil's not going to do a whole lot to you. BAB Falcon Blade is online now because everybody gets a Falcon Blade these days. Excellent health, excellent regen, mana regen, a little bit of damage as well. Everything you could possibly need. Cuckoo level 6 now. Oh, the slow. 40% plus Zephyr's slow on the Gale. That's another 50%. I mean, he's going to be at minimum movement speed here. If he gets hit by the ulti and mana boots in a moment, ulti plus the Venomous Gale, he will just be crawling along at about 100 move speed. Yang, gotta be careful. We'll use the Gale on him. Didn't snowball dodge it. Cuckoo. Thinking about maybe the Tombstone. He's really thinking about it here. Has the ulti. He turns around and hits. I think he's just fine. I mean, I don't think he dies underneath the tower at all there. Maybe even just gets a double kill if he chops down the Tombstone as well. Got to really exploit the strength of this core Undying. He's level 6, 7 minutes in. You just got to get in there. Just hit. Yeah, there's the Gale. And there's... Anything about the Tombstone? No. Look at the slow. Down to 100 move speed. It's so slow, Erica. Gets hit by both of those. There's no getting out of that. The waveform is down. Be in a lot of trouble. Orb was used. Frisk will show in the mid lane. But you can't go below 100 movement speed. There is a minimum cap on movement speed, just like there is a maximum cap. If you're new to Dota, 100 is the minimum cap. Can't get any lower than that. Yang could be in trouble as well again with the ticks. Roll will come through. Maybe try and deny himself to the creep. And look at Zephyr running away from the creeps, knowing that he wants the deny. And Zephyr will get another kill in this top lane. In fact, he probably can just fight a little bit against Erica. Got a Gale in a moment. Make sure it doesn't want to get dodged. Zephyr's just given the high five. Runs away. XM is in the area. Astral Step. Wasn't used bottom lane, actually. BAB has been caught by Thompson and Ana. Chrono is still available. And the bird goes down as well. Plus 100 gold. Might actually get both. One more click and 200 gold. The familiars. Just lining the pockets of the side of T1 in this bottom lane. Cuckoo ultimate again in 15 seconds. He is probably the strongest hero on the map right now. Top net worth as well to boot, so he's had an excellent lane. Erica, bottom net worth among the cores, has hit level 6, has a Falcon Blade, and farm reasonably well now in the jungle, level 3 in the waveform, but still. Certainly think T1 could have exploited this lane a little bit more. Maybe push the boundaries a touch. Whitemon level 5, close to the Mass Serpent Wards. We'll look to take a tower down with that when he hits them. Ana level 6, working on the Midas. In fact, he's close. 397 gold away. As time has gone on, Midas gold has increased. It used to be about 1350 or 1450. Now it's 1750. Mid lane. And the Remnant does catch on the Whitemon, and he'll just use the Shackle just to delay his death a little bit. Make sure Yang gets the kill so that XM doesn't scale too well. Thompson, Coil online, Invis Rune is heading to the jungle. I mean, Erica is just farming on no HP. If they find this Morphling, he hasn't even got any mana. Oh, Yang. I mean, that smoke up here just saved the Morphling. Absolutely saved him, because Morphling just went in farming that and would have died to Thompson in an instant. Smoke into instant sentry on the deck. And that would have been a huge pickup there for the puck. But now, Thompson circling back to the mid lane. It's about to run out. Level 8 on XM. No Yule Scepter just yet, but we'll Astral Step down to the bottom side of the river. And along with Yang, they look like they're making a rotation. At least 3 members of Vici here in the bottom lane with the Catapult and the Familiars. This tower will look to fall. And there'll be no defense coming in. And the trade is just on the top tier 1 with the Mass Serpent wards. Did I get the prediction? Yes, I did. On the ball today. Topson also has some infused raindrops just to help survive himself from the burst. He knows at this early stage that there's a significant amount of damage, but he's almost 1,000 HP. And so if he can just stop one of the spells coming through with significant amount of damage, whether it's the Rubic Fade Bolt or Waveform from the Morphling, he might just be able to live, get the jaunt off and carry on his way. Steal, Decay, level... Oh, not the Decay, just the Soul Rip. It's a Soul Rip stolen from Kuka. That's a feels bad from the Rubic right there. Wants to maybe get a Decay, level 4. Knows it has been maxed out. Doesn't quite get there. Top lane, Whitemon. Doesn't have Mass Serpents, but the coil will be committed. Immediate break, silence. Can the Whitemon get there in time? No, he's a little bit too slow. And the steal will be the Illusionary Orb. Level 4, so that's an excellent steal there. 4 frisks now on this Rubic. Coilius did force some rotations to the top side. So all in all, probably a fairly even trade for both sides. Forced rotations, but the coil was used and is on cooldown now. Cuckoo is getting a little bit bullied by these birds. And can't really do much to stop the push. Actually, okay, I sort of didn't expect Topson to go back in against the 3, but maybe just trying to clear the creep wave. Didn't quite catch what happened there. It was surprising to me that he went back in. Particularly when he was down a couple of spells. Zephyr, level 6 now, although hasn't put the point into the Nova. Wants to make sure that the Plague Ward is at least level 2. 1k net worth lead for the time being to ViciGaming mid lane. Potentially a fight coming out. As long as Ana can continue to get the farm with the Midas, the Morphling can get bursted in the Chrono from the Void. It's hard, but if Void gets to the point where he has the items online, even through the Strength Morph, the Morphling can die in the Chrono. I was actually surprised to see it in a couple of games recently. But you still need to get the Morphling in the Chrono and make sure that the Void is dealing the damage. Smoke comes out, 3-man, Whitemon, level 6 or 7 now, has the wards online, or at least off cooldown again. Topson, coil ready again, level 3 on the Waning Rift. They want to try and make some sort of play. Catch out Erica, he's dodged death a couple of times, he has a waveform, although it's been used. And I think Erica is in a lot of trouble here, Hex, and he will die. But at the same time in the top lane, Faceless Void goes down, so both POS 1's dying. Just when you think that you've made a good rotation, Coil does collect on BAB, and he's going to be in trouble with the Tombstone down. The slows coming out from Cuckoo as well. Mass Serpent was collected on the mid lane. Yang rolling forward, tries to get over onto Zephyr, but I think he'll live. Zephyr with the shackle from Whitemon. He needs to live a little more, he will! The punch wasn't quite enough, and the tier 1 tower will now fall. So the tier 1 tower for VG will fall for T1. T1, tier 1. You gotta love when teams think of their names, right? You knew at some stage they thought that's gonna be a laugh. T1, they'll get mixed up with tier 1. Someone will think it's TI. Bottom lane, Erica is still farming, now working on the Yasha, trying to get towards the Manta. And it looks as if for the time being, T1 are controlling the map. They have got the Mass Serpent wards to plant down and take towers like they did just then. The only tower on the map, actually, facing over towards Erica. I think that's the Witchblade on Topson as well. Witchblade is up, no Witch Doctor this game though. Illusionary Orb, stolen. A lot of damage coming through. Topson will use the wand. Coil with the silence. Will they have the damage? There's the Hex. Turning around onto the Morphling. I think they're going to commit for it. They need a little more damage. The zap from Frisk will get Topson down, and our Whitemon's going to die as well. Erica turning in to the Shadow Shaman with the Hex and the Shackle. And oh my, one more bit of damage would have been enough. And in the mid lane, Cuckoo's dying as well. The Undying. Zephyr being caught by the rest of VG. That's 4 dead across the map for T1. I mean, Dota, it's a game of milliseconds. It's a game of milliseconds. One more right click here from Thompson, and that Morphling goes down, but the zap just comes out in time. The Fade Bolt dealing enough damage. Bottom lane, Thompson is looking for more. Doesn't have the coil, but silence is available, and he's wanted to get on this Rubik. The revenge kill, if he can have it on Frisk, the lift. Actually, now the Shackle. Stolen, and this will just be a kill for Thompson. Mid lane, Zephyr will get caught. Ana's in the area, has a chrono, will commit it. And with the Venomous Gale and the ulti ticking down the Visage, Ana will have the damage to finish it off. That was only with a level 1 chrono though, so the cooldown won't be the reduced amount. Not too much, only 10 seconds extra, so shouldn't be too impactful at this point in the game. This is Maelstrom now and Ana, working towards BKB next. And the BKB is super important to enable you to get the damage in the chrono. Voids will often look sometimes a little bit silly to chrono and BKB at the same time. But if you chrono and don't BKB, then there's a chance that either a Rubik lift or a stolen spell, perhaps a strength morphing will stun you with the adaptive strike. Maybe an Ether Element might catch you on the edge of the chrono, and you just waste the duration of that chrono. So the BKB is really more of an essential item to make sure that damage in the chrono is done. BAB, 2 levels in the Gravekeepers, hasn't maxed it out just yet, so the birds are a little bit vulnerable. Remember, the Gravekeeper's cloak aura got nerfed. The Radius aura. Ana will die in the top lane. Midas off cooldown is the worst part about that. Mid lane, they've used the Quill, Tombstone as well, trying to kill this Visage. Echo Saber on Cuckoo, making sure that he deals more damage. Mass Serpent Ward's committed as well. And at the moment, I don't think VG want to take a fight around Mass Serpent Wards and the Tombstone. That's a Faceless Void for a Visage. Not really the sort of trade you want to take, and you don't get the wards within range of the tower. So that push will be unsuccessful. Cuckoo, Echo with the phase. It is running out. Thinking about potentially fighting it. No Tombstone will need to get some strength stacks off. And it's a stolen Tombstone. You got to be wary of it. Zephyr's being caught by the shards further to the south, and he'll be going down with the combined forces of XM and Erica. So this is one of those games where ViciGaming, they've got a Rubik and a Morphling. There are a lot of good spells to steal. Morphling can just yoink 3 of them straight off the bat. Rubik, Coil is a really good ulti. Chrono is decent if you use it well. He can steal a Tombstone as well. Like, can you imagine if Rubik steals a Tombstone and the Morphling turns into Undying and you just have 2 Tombstones against the Undying draft? I mean, that's the epitome of fear right there. That's the, you know, the meme with the maths calculations just swirling around on the screen as you try and figure out what has happened in front of your eyes. Quite interested to see if we ever get 2 Tombstones down on the side for VG. They're catching up on the high ground. Ana, there's a silence. Does have chrono as well. Doesn't end up using it. They want to try and get Rubik down first. Silence connects as well. They might just have the burst over onto Ana. Does he get the time walk off? He does. And there's the chrono. Is there any more support coming through? Ulti from Zephyr on the low ground. And I think they're going to get the job done. Erica, he's being chased down by the zombies. The bashes from Ana as well. They just didn't have the burst for him. Buyback from Frisk. Cuckoo's been thrown up into the air. Now he's a little bit isolated. Pops the ulti. He needs a little bit of support from his team. XM is isolating the rest of the supports by jumping forward. They can't get through to help the Undying. Thompson did die. Quite a messy fight at the end of the day. Buyback was used from Frisk. on the Rubik, so his progress towards his Blink Dagger will be delayed significantly. Just have a look. So buyback used, but in terms of the deaths, it's 2 cores for 2 supports. Buyback kind of levels it out a little bit, but Ana was so close to being bursted, just had enough life to get the Time Walk off and the Chrono, but here comes the smoke again. They have the Aghanim Scepter, the silence comes through, Snowball, Punch, Puck gets silenced as well, and he's get Time Walk, he will, Hex, on to Task, and he'll go down. Quill, break immediately, there's no Astral Step, there is a Dissimulate, Mass Serpent Woods committed, and he'll actually die just from the long range harass. Morphling will send the Adaptive Strike over. Jackal couldn't quite continue for long enough to enable the rest of T1 to finish up, close over onto that Void Spirit. Would have been in a little bit of trouble without the Astral Steps. Robo on XM, just amping up the magic damage that he's going to do. BAB has the... I thought he had the Silence of the Grave, although it was absolutely ripped. But no, it's just the Invis Room, and into the Roche Pit they go. With the Wraith Pack, damage now from Erica, mostly morphed into Agi, has about 250 damage, and the Roche is just falling. Zephyr has ulti in 15. I think it's going to be a little late. Ana, no Chrono for 20. And ViciGaming just playing expertly around these timings, even using the Wraith Pack to tank the Roche. Aegis now on Erica. They couldn't really kill him once. They're going to have trouble killing him twice now. Has the Nethershell in the backpack. Might throw it in fights, but for the farming purposes, we'll have the Possessed Mask for the time being. Frisk, Etherlens, getting closer back towards that dagger. So buyback not hurting him too much. Zephyr is trying to farm up using the wards. Has a 4-staff, earn a Shadows. Wants to probably get the Spirit Vessel, but it feels like it's a little late at this point to go back to that Spirit Vessel. Probably will just leave it as an earn for this point. Unless he gets to the point where he has a bunch of charges, then maybe you want to go back and get the Vessel. But with 0 charges, it's really no incentive to expend all that gold into an item that's not going to give you anything for the time being. Yes. Throws out the best mask. When he's on the lane, has the Nethershell, realizing he needs that extra magic resistance so he doesn't get bursted down. Zephyr wanders towards the Roche Pit, but there's no one left there. In fact, XM jumps forward with the step, mules into the air, will just back away as Cuckoo is running forward. Thompson's on the march as well. Throws out the orb. Scares the rest of Vici away. Bottom lane, the push is coming in on the tier 2 tower. Frisk is in the area to try and help Morphling, but I think he's just going to back away in a moment. Although he's just going to keep going. Lift will be used. That will probably delay any real push happening on this bottom lane, at least for the next wave occurs. And Eric might just keep farming and head back and hit that tier 2 once the wave arrives at the tower. Mass Serpent Woods have been committed. They want this tier 2. Might just be a straight trade of tier 2s, and if you're an Aegis down, that's pretty much the best possible outcome. You want to still try and take some map control at all times, but against an Aegis, that's just the best possible outcome. Because you're going to lose tier 2s against Aegis. This is a known fact. So if you're at least managing to get the trade, then you're happy with that. Ana BKB, fresh is ready, working back towards the Mjolnir now, wants to have that additional damage. I see Whitemon with a trusty shovel not being dug. I respect the dig game. I'd love to see it. Oh, actually a ward up on the high ground. That's a sneaky one 25 minutes in with tier 2 still standing. Don't think it'll get dewarded, and we'll provide a little bit of information about where people are moving in their base from Vici, although no one's anywhere near their base at the moment. They are taking another tier 2 in the mid lane, and this is what you'd expect with the Aegis, taking for a dominant measure of the tier 2s. Now, I think they're just waiting to see if someone TP's back to defend this. There's a catapult. Is someone going to come? There's a DD. I think with the Visage, they're just happy to push. They've got their own catapult. Let the creep wave attack. Let it be damned. We've got the birds. And this might just be a tier 3. Erica, 1 minute 33 on the Aegis. I think they're just prepared to let it fall, T1. You don't want to lose a fight here. Just slow chip, maybe. Actually, Thompson goes in with the silence. Tombstone is committed. Bird stuns. Will slow down Cuckoo. Use the ulti. And that might be enough just to scare them backwards. 1 minute and 15 on the Aegis. By the time that Tombstone runs out, you know, it'll be about 50 seconds left. Yang has Blink now, so Blink Snowball Save is online. Pretty difficult against a Chrono, but if a hero's on the edge, you can get it done. But particularly the main target for this Blink Snowball Save is against Whitemon. The Hex, the Shackles, they're the ones you want to save one of your cores from. Wards being planted down on the high ground, setting up the defense. Making sure that there's no easy push here. Aegis, 33 seconds. It does look like ViciGaming will let it expire before they make any more plays here for the time being. See this lane ward here. It's a dirty little lane ward. Catches Ana moving top. They might ping it out. They want to start moving that way. Yang's running. But it also might just confirm to them that they're safe to do a little bit more damage on the mid lane. Chip the tower down a touch more. They'll see Ana there now. Thought maybe they might have gone for a quick move and try and catch his Faceless Void out top. Whitemon is flirting with danger at the moment. I guess trying to tank a gank moving towards his Faceless Void. Just offering himself as a body between their team and his. Zephyr will die, has buyback. Didn't use the Poison Nova. Cuckoo careful to make it back into base. Now, Core Undying is falling off. Actually, the catch, they find Thompson on the high ground. Is that's a stolen Tombstone? Or it's a Morphling Tombstone. No, it's not. It's a stolen Tombstone, it is. Should have gone with my first gut instinct. So Frisk has got Tombstone in 40 seconds. I think it'll be long enough. They've got another Tombstone, man. You can actually see double Tombstone here from Vici. They throw the Wraith back down. Glyph is used. Birds die once. I mean, that was maybe a little bit of miss micro. Does use the resummon. That's their own Wraith Pact. BKB on Cuckoo. Can try and get in and get the job done. Creeps are pushing in the top wave. Will force the TPs back. They'll see the Morphling in the top side of the map and know that it's safe to move out. The Morphling has the Aghanim Scepter. Get a little bit of extra status resistance or spell amp. Or maybe just a bit of attack speed, depending on who he morphs into. There's a 4-man smoke from T1 down the mid lane. Here they come. They want to try and connect with Ana. Level 3 Chrono. Only is online. If they could get the catch, they're playing the vision. They see it. There's the blink in. Silence to begin things. There's the Tombstone on the ground, but it looks like she's going to die to the birds. Tombstone is dead, and so is Ana. Just got completely bursted. Cuckoo, he's got BKB. There's the Tombstone on the deck. I don't think that is his. I think it's Rubik's, and he's just going to die. Thompson, can he make it away? Phase shift. Silence comes out. And it's just 4 deaths. I mean, Ana just died. Instantly got bursted. 2000 HP with the BKB ready. Looked like he had the power treads on int. Might have made a difference. Zephyr just makes it out. In fact, I think Lift might have been online. T1 backs now against the wall. Look at the grass. We can see it slowly moving in VG's favor. This is how a lot of the Chinese teams like to play it. Slow, methodical advantage on the map until you get to the point where it is impossible for your opposition to come back. Gaben says 85% chance for ViciGaming to close this one out. Roshan is 1 minute 37, so merciful for T1. Wasn't an instant spawn. Gaben's still prepared to give T1 a few more chances in this game to pull out a win. This is elimination. Ana now working on a Lincoln Sphere. Understands he needs some protection. And now the 5-man smoke. Ana level 19. Hasn't got the 95 attack speed during Chronosphere, which is a real issue. You'd love to have that for this fight. There's the vision again. They see BAB. Doesn't have a shard, but does have a lot of defensive items. Slow comes out. Poison Touch. Quill will be used. There it is. BKB from Ana. Ulti as well from Cuckoo and the Tombstone on the down. Erica jumps in himself in the Void form. They're trying to get rid of the Visage, and they do, but they've lost their tops and puck on the back lines. TP out from Ana is cancelled from the punch. Yules up into the air. Does look like there'll be an Ether Remnant, and the Void will go down. Back over towards the middle of the fight. Erica being controlled by Shaman. Whitemon dies, and the only survivor this time is Cuckoo. He makes it back to the base. Once again, they just can't get the job done. Now, there's no Chronosphere used in that fight. I don't think they popped it on the Visage at this. Did he bite back? I don't think he died at all.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Wait for the fight recap to come up. But it was a buyback on the Visage. Yeah, they did kill him the once. So buyback on the Visage. But for 4 deaths. 4 for 1. Once again, T1 look for the fight around this area where they have a little bit of vision with the ward down, but it's a little bit dangerous. And now Roche has spawned. Frisk has scouted it out. Into the pit he goes. He's happy to kick things off. And with the shackles, Roshan will not be surviving very long. Now that Erica's arrived and BAB with the auras, the birds hitting away too. It's not surviving for long enough. There's no way the T1 can make it out. So let's have a look. What are we getting in this Roshan? It's the Shard. Who's going to take it? It will be, I believe, the Shard on Morphling. Pass it over. No, he did consume it himself. So Shard on the Morphling, being able to morph through the stuns. Strength Blink being worked on for the Undying. Hasn't gone in for the Aghanim Scepter. Thought he might have. Have to see what he goes for at level 20. At least if he gets the Tombstone of Death, he might have a couple of additional Tombstones. I think he might just go for the Decay. I think he needs to be more aggressive. As good as Tombstone of Death is, don't think it'll be enough if he's dead. He just needs to stay alive and keep pumping out those Decays. That's why I sort of thought he might have gone in for the Aghanim Scepter. Strength Blink isn't bad either. Level 3 ulti, soon to arrive. Zephyr has the latent toxicity. Hasn't progressed his items at all from about 10 minutes ago. Topson, Kyron Sands, but no defensive items yet on this puck. Erica moving forward now fearlessly. Has the Eye of Skadi. And this, you get the feeling that Megas are potentially in the future for T1. They have to take a high ground defense. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This was them last game. They had the advantage against ViciGaming. They were the ones pushing with multiple lives, with all of the goodies from Roche, with all of the net worth lead. And yet they managed to lose the fight against VG. Perhaps this time, can they do the same on VG? Can they play the same trick? It's going to be hard. Erica Morphling in the front line. He won't die easily. 3 minutes left on the Aegis. And look at XM. Look at XM just holding on to the activation cost. The activation on the Aeon disc. Wants to make sure he saves it for a rainy day. Saves it for the exact moment when he might get bursted. All it takes is a right click and an assemble button. Here it is. Unlock combining. And he'll be immune for 2.5 seconds and receive a strong dispel. Just got to be quick enough to make sure you get it off. Level 21 on XM. Has grabbed the Resonant Pulse damage. Makes sense considering he did get the Aghanim Scepter. So double Resonant Pulse, double the damage. Frisk, Blink, working towards Yules. Just another way to interrupt and catch a few people. If they can stop Cuckoo, put him up in the air. If they can put Ana up in the air, you know, just stop these heroes from getting value out of their spells, particularly Cuckoo, then he's just going to be spending most of his time mules in the fight. There's the pipe. It is popped, and the Wraithpact on the ground. Zephyr trying to get a little bit of harass onto Erica, and that's once again the stolen tombstone up on the high ground. And I think that's the own tombstone of Cuckoo is just dead. So Erica goes into Undying form, and they've got their own 2 tombstones. We saw it. I talked about it early in the game. We could see the double tombstone against the side. Actually, Cuckoo's just dead. Lifted, and in the duration of the lift, just dies. Erica throws out his own decay. Jumping back, his XM dissimulates away. Ana jumps in, doesn't yet. Does actually have the shard. They consider using the Chrono. He's stunned up by the birds. There's the ulti. He's stunned again. I think it was the resummon. BKB is used on the back line. He's caught the 2. Ana going to work on the Rubik. Also on the birds. Trying to get BAB down, but he's chopping back into the face. Now the punch. Cuckoo's dead without buyback. Ana's down as well. Is this the end? The copium, it might not be enough. In the middle of the fight, Thompson dies. The buyback comes out. Zephyr still trying to hold the high ground with the wards. With the Thompson buyback, it might be enough to at least save the game. Mass Serpent wards will kill the creep wave. Illusionary orbs. Just trying to provide a little bit of harass. But this could just be the tier 4s right now. They want to secure the megas. They don't know if Ana has buyback. They know that Cuckoo doesn't. They're assuming that Armor is holding on to buyback right now. That's the assumption. If they start poking these tier 4s and realize that there is no buyback forthcoming, yeah, they don't risk it. With the Aegis expiring in 6 seconds, potentially a buyback void, they just back their way up and look. Actually, it's the smoke back play. It's the smoke black play. Whitemon, you gotta be careful. They're coming for you. Blink in from Frisk. Double astral step. And Thompson, it looks like he's been caught. He's in the random husband. He's dead. That's a buyback. It's a dieback. Double buyback is available on the supports. Cuckoo respawning in 7 seconds. Hex, Lotus up. There's the GG. It's called. T1 call a day. They are out of TI11. And ViciGaming progress moving forward. And the bye-bye Cuckoo comes out. Bye-bye and T1. The picture of devastation. Picture of devastation. Would have been a real treat to see T1 in Singapore on their home stomping grounds. But alas, ViciGaming will be moving forward.